When I tell you this video has been on my to-do list for months, probably even longer. I'm very, very serious. But I actually, as you guys know, if you've been a follower of mine for a while, my makeup style for every day has shifted to a more simple eye. So if you ask me, I've become quite the expert when it comes to my favorite single one and done eyeshadows. Now I often do dig from eyeshadow palettes, but I wanted to pick out my favorite individuals that you can pick up for today's video. All of these look beautiful on their own or paired with a nice color in the crease, making it two and done. But I'll cheat a little bit because some of these I prefer as a two and done than a one and done, but things that we one and done. Okay, anyways, I have 14 different products that I'm sharing with you. They're a mixture of, I really like lighter shades on the eyelids for one and dones, but I do have some other varieties in here. So let's go ahead and get into it. My nails are so crusty. Remember when I used to do press-on nails all the time? I need to get back into doing that. I've just been neglecting because I feel like I have a project or something to do every time, and then I just don't do the project. So when I don't do the project, then it just pushes back when I'm going to get my nails done. You don't care. Let's get into it. So we're going to start off with the sticks category because I love a good eyeshadow stick. They're so easy. You don't need any brushes. You can just draw them on and go. We're going to start off with my all-time favorite stick formulation, and that is from Laura Mercier, one of the most classic eyeshadow stick formulas out there. So my favorite was limited edition. Don't hate me, but I'm going to share it in case it comes back out. It's Intense Moonlight. If you go on the website, you will find the shade Moonlight. Also beautiful, but I like it a little bit more intense. Ignore the staining on my hands. But look at that. It has gorgeous glimmers. So I like it because you get a little bit more from that, but maybe glimmer shimmer isn't your jam. If that's the case, they have a lot of really beautiful shades, don't get me wrong, but I do also love rose gold. Again, on the lighter side of the colors, but that's kind of where I like it right now. I love a good bright glow on the eyelid with minimal depth to really brighten up the eyes. I think it's so pretty and ethereal looking. So those are my two favorite colors from Laura Mercier. But honestly, I'm recommending the formula. You find what color works best for you, whether you want like a medium to deep brown is always really pretty. Focusing it on the lash line and then using your fingers to blend it out for a subtle smoky look. They have all the colors there available for you for whatever your vibe is. The next eyeshadow stick formula that I love, I'm mostly recommending it for the color, not necessarily the formula. The formula is good, but it's a bit stiff, so it's not going to go anywhere. So there's trade-offs. This is from Maybelline. It's their Color Tattoo Eye Stick. In particular, I'm recommending the shade I Am Courageous. So this stick will not go anywhere. It's budge proof. I find the other shades to fall a little flat while they are beautiful. This one, it's really special on the eye. So take a look. So this is different from a lot of the other shades I'm going to show you today because the shimmer is more apparent. It has more of a flat base and then there's glimmers in there. This is so beautiful on the eyelid. The glitters still do show through, and this does not budge. This isn't the smoothest of all eyeshadow sticks I've used, but it will not crease. It will last all day. And then the last eyeshadow stick that I'm recommending that is I love. It's brand new, but it's amazing. It's from L'Oreal. It's their new Lace Shadow Sticks. You can purchase these off of Amazon. I have two shades that I really like. Magnetic Mauve and Twinkly Rose is probably my all-time favorite, but Magnetic Mauve is really pretty for a little bit more depth. What's amazing about these is they have a cooling sensation. They literally just glide on the eyelid. Be careful of what you layer underneath because I have had these crease, but nothing that bothers me. But if you put an eye primer underneath and like keep the lid dry, then they're not going to crease. Look at the glide of this. This is Magnetic Mauve, and it literally feels cool to the touch. You have a little bit of time to blend that out. So Magnetic Mauve is gorgeous, and these are like just over $10. And then there's Twinkly Rose, which is a little bit brighter. I'm gonna actually put this in my inner corner right now, but that's so pretty. I do have plans for the actual lid, but as far as the sticks for now, so I can demo as many as possible, because I cannot apply and take off, apply and take off. My eyelids will never forgive me. Just lightly putting this in the inner corner. Isn't this shade so pretty, and it really brightened up the eyes? I even like to use a shade like this pretty much across the whole lower lash. I think it's so pretty. Highly recommend these. These are like a new favorite of mine. I do have one liquid formula that I love that I think is so underrated, and they call these 10-second eyeshadows because they literally give you an eyeshadow look in 10 seconds. It's the Kosas 10-second eyeshadows. Again, I stick in the more champagne-y, creamy kind of family here, but these are my most used shade, Electric and Blaze. So it's really simple packaging. It has a doe foot applicator. Now these sheer out. They look a little intense and wet, like liquidy at first, but then when you blend them out, they really start to show more of a glow than intense pigment. Like this one in particular gives a really soft glow to the eyelid, so this leaves it really natural, but these do not crease. They set down without looking dry. And for something a little bit more deeper, if I want more of a dramatic look, it's more of a taupe. This is the shade Blaze, and again, you can see it more as I use my finger. So I'll just apply the doe foot directly to my eyelid, and then I use my finger to soften it out. Hopefully you can see why I love those colors. And like I said, they are just a gorgeous, really thin formulation, and they set down, they don't get crackly, they don't crease because they dry down to almost a powder. So they really move with the movement of your eye. So if you're liking the liquid format, this is probably my favorite. Next, I have 4 that come in a pot. So that means they're a little bit wetter to the touch. I'm going to start off with a matte shade because most of these are glimmery and shimmery because that's what I want out of my single shadow. But if I need something matte, I have mixed opinions on this. So this is the Merit Solo Shadow in the shade Mid-Century. This product was created to be a one and done style product, and I think it's amazing. I just think it kind of dries out fast, which isn't great. So let me show you the swatch. Like I can already feel mine drying out a little bit. It's not terrible and it's still usable, but this is the one matte in today's video. It sets down, it doesn't budge, it's really awesome. I know we're doing a one and done video, but like I said, to demo, I'm gonna be doing more than one on my eyes today. I'm gonna show you how easy this is to use. Even though the formula is drier, it still applies really easily. And if you're doing a one and done makeup look, you can add a little bit more dimension to your look by putting a brown in the crease, and it can literally just be your bronzer. So you're still technically only using that one shadow. We're going to pretend this is my bronzer, but imagine how pretty this is, softened all over the eye for a little bit of depth. Really simple one and done, or you can use it how I'm using it today. I'm also just going to put a little bit of that on the outer corner. So I love this single shadow. It's beautiful on its own as a literal one and done eyeshadow. Don't underestimate an all matte single shadow look with a nice lash. It's actually quite pretty. I underestimate it as well, but every time I do it, I really, really love it. So I've really enjoyed having this product in my collection. It has a 6-month shelf life, and I'm not surprised by that. The next product that I have is from Charlotte Tilbury. Now, I don't recommend these too much on my channel because they don't sit down, so they crease. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize. My most used shade is probably Pillow Talk, so that's why I picked it out. I just opened up a new one, so that's why it barely looks new. But these are pretty because they give a soft glow to the eyelid without being glittery, and they apply beautifully with the finger, with a brush. So easy to blend out, get a nice diffused look. My only thing is they will crease, especially if you don't properly apply it. If you put on too thick of a layer, if you have a concealer underneath that's prone to creasing, this will crease if you have hooded eyes. Those of you with those beautiful deep set eyes, highly recommend this formula for you. If you're very creasy, very hooded, I wouldn't recommend this to you. That being said, Love the way that these apply. I think they're very easy to use. I love the colors. They're amazing for one and done looks. And they give that Charlotte Tilbury glow that's really special. Let me show you here. I just think this is such a beautiful product. I just wish they didn't crease. I can get this not to crease, by the way, but it still isn't the most long wearing. I feel like I did the opposite of selling that to ya, but I've I've got to be honest, like it's a product that I love to use, but there are trade-offs here. The next potted product that I love is from Kopari, and it's their Zari Eyes eyeshadow. This is so amazing. Let me show you. So it's this potted jelly material, and they do have other shades. I love the shade Bronze Brocade, and you see it's jelly. It reminds me of this product from Butter London that I used to love, and it's very pigmented, and it doesn't budge. It sets down, it doesn't crease, it blends out to be really thin on the eyelid, and I do find the thinner the product, the less likely it is to crease, and there's some little glitters kind of embedded in there as well. I love this for a bronze look. The jelly consistency of this is also very fun. This is such a good pickup from Sephora, super underrated. The last potted product that I have is a product that I talk about, I feel like, all of the time on my channel. It's the Hourglass Scattered Light Glitter Eyeshadows. These are on the more pricey side, but they are 100% worth it. They give the really pretty soft shimmer glimmer to the eye without being too much, and they are feather light on the eyelid, meaning they don't crease. So let me show you the two shades that I use the most. And I've had these for a while and they haven't dried out on me. So Vivid is the green shade, and then Smoke is this taupey shade. It's a little bit more on the natural side. I've used these a lot on my channel, so I'm not demoing these. But here's Vivid. Oops, going into Kopari a little bit. You see those glimmers in there? They're just beautiful, and it feels almost like a powder, hence why it just doesn't crease. And then Scattered Light is just the most beautiful taupe shade. I just feel like you can tell I have a type. I like these soft, glimmery shades. A little bit more depth than I thought in the colors that I've chosen, but they just look so pretty on the eyelid. All of these are colors that have been worn multiple times, so I know I, in particular, am reaching for these colors as well as the formula. Next category, I have my, I guess these are like potted glitters. They're definitely more glittery than the ones that I have showed you before, but I love a simple glitter on the lid for every day. You wouldn't believe it. So this first one that I have is from Touch in Soul. And by the way, Asian brands are gonna do the best at those single glimmery, shimmery eyeshadows. Hence why Touch in Soul did such a good job. These have been around for a few years. These are the Metalist Sparkling Foiled Pigments. So these went through a phase where they were popular. Years have since passed, but I'm still loving these. So hopefully I can re-bring them out for you guys. These are my two most used shades. So the Hourglass is really pressed in tightly, almost like a powder. These are a little bit creamier, a little bit flakier. I'm trying to find what color this is, but for some reason, oh, Sun Aurora. So this one has a green gold shift to it, and you can see how I just picked up a lot more product naturally because of the feel of it. It's dry, it's not a cream, but it has these flakes to it, but it's still not messy. This is the shade Cream Peach, a little bit more on the wearable side. Sun Aurora, Cream Peach. Look at Cream Peach. You can't tell me that that isn't incredible. I think I'm going to put Cream Peach on today because look at that. We'll just do the one eyelid since I have two, but I prefer to use a finger with this. And you see, this is how you can get an everyday glitter. You don't need a glitter glue. This doesn't have any fallout. And that's why I love it for just a one and done shadow. You look like you tried a little bit harder than you did. And it looks even more stunning on a bare lid with that like clear look underneath. Don't be afraid, you don't need to have a bronzer or anything. It's just as beautiful and even more eye-awakening without a bronzer color. This next one is something you've heard of before. I am not the first to call these out, but they are one of the best affordable, simple, one and done shadows that you can pick out for yourself. And you don't need to use the colors that I picked. I picked in the same color family, but they have mattes, they have multi-chromes, they have glitters, they have satins, they have it all. It's the classic Colourpop Super Shock shadows. I mean, these are an iconic product. They're like $6-7, and they're amazing for applying a quick shadow with your finger. So let me show you. One of my all-time favorites has been Amaze. Now with these shadows, they're kind of like a putty formulation, a little bit stiffer than putty. Like it's more powdery than putty, but it's not like a true powder. These do dry out over time, but they're worth repurchasing. So this is a shade Amaze. I wore this all throughout college, all over my eyelid, because it's stunning, it's really glimmery, shimmery, but there's also some other colors that are quite popular, even more than I'm mentioning in today's video, but these are the ones I grabbed for. Frog is a classic because it has some multicolor kind of glimmers in there, and it's really pearly looking. Do you see that? So this is a unique single glimmer, and this one's really thin, so it doesn't crease. When I get close to the camera, sometimes it's just better to turn the lights down. Yeah, look at that. That's Frog. This is Amaze, a little bit deeper. And then another beautiful shade for that glitzy look is the shade Ritz. This is another very popular shade, a little bit more translucent. So you can use this as a topper. And again, it's also really pretty on its own, since this is a one and done shadow video. And then this product is probably the most beautiful eyeshadow I've ever seen. I actually got a comment recently about somebody that didn't like this, and I'm shocked. This is the Half Magic Glitter Puck in the shade Dopamine Sparkle. This is the only shade that they have, but I do hope that they can add another one. Many others, honestly. Look at this. It's a puck of glitter, but it's not sticky or loose or anything. So take a look at that. And it's insane. You don't need a glitter glue. It feels really soft when you touch it, but the reflection you get, the sparkles in here are insane. I used this all the time when I lived in Miami and would go to those beauty events because it really is a striking color all over the eyelid. You know, you just put in a couple crease colors, top it with this, and you have an instant glam look. I love this so much. They've heard me. They've heard everybody. We're all begging for more shades. I'm sure they are formulating them and creating them, and it's going to be a super big launch because they've acknowledged me being like, come out with other colors. So I'm sure they're on it, but this is amazing. If there's one thing, if you like glitters, if there's one thing you need, it's this. And then the last three formulations that I have are more on the powder side. Now this first one is not even an eyeshadow, technically. It's a highlight, but I think it's prettier on the eyelid than it is on the cheek. It's the Makeup Revolution highlighters, the ones that look like this. This is the shade Bronze Baddie. Honestly, any shade from this line is great. Bronze Baddie I feel like is a little bit more glowy on my eyelid. I feel like these can look a little dry on the face, but something about them on the eye is so pretty because it's soft. It doesn't have any glitters in there, but it's really a pretty super glowy satiny shade. No glitter, metallic, but without emphasizing texture. It's just the prettiest shade all over the lid, and it's affordable. Technically a highlight, but I'll put it on my face as a highlight today. Though this shade's a little deep for me, my complexion, but it's gorgeous on the eyes. It still is pretty on the face. I did just remember that I didn't put highlight on. It's even prettier on the eyes. Trust me on that. I wish I had 14 eyeballs today so I could have demoed everything for you. Next up, these are definitely a splurge, but I love these for one and done shadow looks. They're the Chantecaille Luminous Eye Shades. Super expensive, but super amazing. There's 3 shades that I love. Let me pop one on so I can just talk about its amazingness. I'm deciding if I should go deeper. We'll go deeper because I went lighter with the other one. I'm going to use a Wayne Goss 18 brush. This is the shade shimmering taupe gray. It's the elephant one. And I'm gonna take a brush like this. These are insane, and you can get really simple, smoky looks with one and done shadows. Look how pretty. There's something about the glimmers in these shadows that are really refined, but sometimes the best smoky look is with a simple one and done shade like this, where it looks like you applied more shades on your eyes than you did because the reflection hits different depths based on your eye shape. And I'm going to use the same brush, blend it, and I just feel like it looks like I used more than one shadow, which technically I did, but we're going to forget the merit that I had on underneath. And this is how you get the easiest, everyday, simple, smoky eye look. So this is not normally a shade I would go for when looking at eyeshadows, but look how pretty and soft that blended out to be. And these blend out with ease. They are glowy. Some other shades that I love is the Zebra. This is like a rose gold shade. These are creme de la creme in terms of formulation. I have always loved these shadows. You look at them, you don't think there's anything special to the... I just watched over the Makeup Revolution. My bad. But you don't think there's anything special when you look at them. But I'm telling you, it's the way they apply, it's the way they sit on the eye, and if you have mature eyelids, I think you're going to really love the way that this formula sits on your eyelids. Another one for that classic champagne glow, the Cheetah one. Look at that. You can even use this as a highlight on the face. It is just as beautiful. I'm getting a little sketchy with my swatches here as I'm running out of arm space. But this is a true champagne shade, and it gives that really ethereal, angelic look to the eye when you blend this all over. Lastly, I'm like doubting putting this in, but I do love it. It's from MAC, and it's their Dazzle shadows. So these are a glittery shade. Obviously, I love my glitters that you don't need with a glitter glue. And I particularly like this shade because it has a shift in there, which makes it really great for a one and done look because it looks like you did more than you actually did, because when it's under the shadow of your crease, it's darker, even though you just used the same shadow. So here's what it looks like on my finger. This formula overall from MAC is gorgeous. And this is also quite dazzly and glittery. But you can even see as I turn my arm, it's darker and lighter at the same time. Shadows with shifts like that are really great for one and done looks. And there we have it. Those are my favorite one and done shadow looks. When I'm feeling lazy, I want to get my look out quick, I don't want to put too much effort in. These are the formulas and the colors that I'm reaching for. I feel like whenever I have one and done looks, you guys are always asking. I do have a bonus for you. And I know I didn't have it planned, I just remembered it. It's just because it comes out of a palette, but it's an affordable palette. This is my favorite for like a my skin color but glowy color from CoverGirl. It's from the Clean Color eyeshadow palette in the shade Midnight Sky. I was wearing this almost every day at one point, and every time people were like, what's on your eyelid? It was literally just this shade. I'm gonna put it at the top of my hand. There's something that's so smooth about it on the eyelid, but it has such a pretty glow. Okay, little bonus there. As I was talking, I was like, wait, I do need to mention this one, because this one, the dip is much more significant in here than the others, because I'm only reaching for this shadow. I think it's so incredibly smooth, but natural. Anyways, seriously, I am done this time. So we ended up with 15 that I wanted to swatch for you. Those are my favorite one and done shadows that I've used over the last couple of years while I've been into these more simple eye looks that are much more trendy nowadays. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. If there's any one and done shadows that I need to know about, be sure to comment them down below. You know what I like. I tend to go for like the glowier, shimmerier, glimmerier, if possible, kind of shadows. So I'd love to hear your perspective on that. If you like this video, make sure you actually physically like it. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.